Salute. Can y'all hear me out there? Let me know if y'all can hear me out there. Can y'all hear me out there, man? We is most definitely back in business. What's up, y'all? You know what I'm saying? Let me know in the comments if y'all can hear me out there. Can y'all hear me? Yeah, we can hear it. We can most definitely hear it. We are live in effect, guys. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody in the building, man. It's been a minute, y'all. I've been taking care of some other business, but I most definitely been in tune with everything going on when it comes to the news, y'all. What's up with it? You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody that's already here. Make sure you are double tapping that screen. That's how you hit the like button. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you are new, man. You know what I'm saying? If you new over here, make sure you subscribe, man. Double tap that screen. You know what I'm saying? Most definitely, that's how you hit that like button. What's up, Money Mo? You know what I'm saying? What's up, Miss Terry? Shout out to you. What's up, Miss T? How you doing? You know what I'm saying? MMK, my mother's keeper. What's up with it, y'all? Yeah, man. Now, a lot of people was thinking, you know, that taking I'm gonna say the needle, you know what I'm talking about, back when the pandemic was going on was the right thing to do, man. Shout out to Miss T for being a member for the last 21 months. It don't even seem that long, Miss T, but I guess it have been that long. Oh my goodness, man. We've been over here rocking and rolling for a minute, man. Shout out to everybody that kept their memberships going, even though I haven't been able to be live over here, you know, like I have been before. We gonna get back to it, man. I gotta get back in the groove, man. That little vacation I took most definitely got to me, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Miss to my girl Rika for being a member for the last 22 months. Good Lord, we've been over here for a minute, man. Lord have mercy. 22 months, y'all. It seemed like yesterday we started this channel, man. You know what I'm saying? Look how far we have become, man. You know what I'm saying? Right, all channels. You hear me? Yeah, and I appreciate you, man. Shout out to everybody that support me. I most definitely appreciate the genuine support, man. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, you know, it be things that go on that make you say, but you gotta work past it. You hear me? You gotta keep on course. You gotta keep on doing what you're doing, and that's most definitely what I'm gonna do. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Miss D. She in the building, man. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you guys are double tapping that screen. And like I said a while ago, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people thought that was the way to go, the correct thing to do. You know, had a lot of people frightened, a lot of people scared when the whole pandemic situation was going on, y'all. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people resorted to doing, you know, what they heard Dr. Fauci basically telling them to do was, you know, basically take that vaccine, guys. Well, it's been a lot going on since then. A lot of different cases going on, a lot of different, you know what I'm saying, aspects of what was all involved in that vaccine, you know, going on. And a lot of people feel a lot of different ways, man, when it comes to this situation. You know, we've heard of people flipping out, you know, after taking the vax. You know what I'm saying? We heard people flipping out and, you know, strange things going on and people, you know, developing all these illnesses and things of that nature to where the public started feeling like, you know, this was rushed, you know what I'm saying? And they should have just waited, you know, and rolled it out. A lot of people were saying that this whole situation with the vax was fake. You hear what I'm saying? And they rushed to try to find a cure for something that may not have been super serious like that. You hear what I'm saying? So Dr. Fauci, however you say his name, you know, was basically, you know, the one in charge, the one who was encouraging people to do it, the one who was speaking the so-called facts on the entire situation when it came to what caused the pandemic, guys. Well, he was called to testify in front of Congress, you know, and basically speak his piece, you know, on why he did what he did. Y'all know Trump called him in the question a long time ago. You know, what's up, Ballin', my guy in the building, man? What's up, Straight Ballin'? Shout out to my moderators that's been moderating since I started. But anyway, he was called to testify in front of the Senate, you know what I'm saying, into which he didn't answer a lot of questions, guys. You know what I'm saying? And they didn't like that too much. So they put it up to a vote, guys. You know what I'm saying? They put it up to a vote rather to hold him in contempt, you know, for not answering their questions like he was supposed to answer them, guys. And we're here. This is how we got here today, man. Make sure if you're in the building, man, you are double tapping that screen. Let's double tap that screen, y'all. Hit the like button. The like button is very necessary over here. You know, it lets YouTube know that people support the channel, and it most definitely gets YouTube to start sharing it out. We need as many likes as we can get and as many subscribers as we can get, because if you can't tell, we on the road to 64K. We should have been there a long time ago. You know what I'm saying? But hey, we most definitely rocking and rolling. All right, so let's get to this content, guys. Let's get to the content. Let me show y'all what I got for y'all today, man. You know, and basically they the Senate put it all on the floor today. You know what I'm saying? They put it all on the floor today when it comes to Dr. Fauci, y'all. You know what I'm saying? And his role that he played, you know, in this whole entire vax situation. You know, I think one of them got up there and they said that the reason why he didn't comply in the way that they may have wanted him to comply was because if he answered a question wrong or said something that wasn't right, you know, that they would be that basically the people would be all over him. What's up with it, Amazing? You know what I'm saying? What's up, Amazing? You know what I'm saying? Shout out to UAB. We in the building. You know what I'm talking about? So all right, let's get to it, because I most definitely got the Senate, you know, and what they had to say, and instead of me telling y'all every little detail, I'm gonna most definitely let them speak for themselves. Shout out to the gifts, man. Shout out to that gift. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to those 2 Jews. You know what I'm saying? That silver star from AB, man. We still pushing over here, man. We still pushing over here. Honey Pot, what's up with it, man? Shout out to the people that love the real content. You know what I'm saying? I most definitely got it all. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my boy Ballin for being a member for the last 21 months. He said, you already know what it is, man. It's sidewalk on mine. It's sidewalk on mine too, man. I don't care who stay. I don't care who leave. You know, at the end of the day, you know, what's for me is for me, and we gonna keep on rocking and rolling regardless, man. You know what I'm saying? This train will never be derailed. Just know that. All right. So anyway, you know what I'm saying? Enough with that small talk. Let's get to the business. Hey, Brenda. Shout out to my girl Brenda in the building. You know what I'm saying? What's up, Brenda? You know, they done held Dr. Fauci in contempt, man. Put this man in contempt. Oh man, it could get bad. Can't you go to jail if they put you in contempt? Like, ain't that contempt of court or something like that? You know, if you're not doing what you're supposed to do, can't Miss Fat to you. What's up with it, Miss Fat to you? Shout out to Miss Fat to you, man. You know what I'm saying? She most definitely been holding it down. She don't go a lot of places, you know, that I may be, but she most definitely is a loyal supporter over here on Everything News. You know what I'm saying? And as you can see, she been holding her membership even though I ain't even been over here. I hope you understand me, Miss Fat. I'm most definitely back. You hear me? I'm most definitely back. Man, shout out to those 10 Jews, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to you, man on the bank. Shout out to you for those Jews, man. I most definitely appreciate it. What's up, Lanice? Shout out to Lanice in the building, man. My people are most definitely in here. Did y'all miss me? I missed y'all. I think he decided to fit in case they can find the auto pen pardon is invalid. Yeah, and I heard him say something about that, Joe. I most definitely did hear him say something about that. That's why I need to go ahead and start playing this here content. Shout out to AB, man. You know what I'm saying? For copping that membership back. I most definitely appreciate you. Lanice, what's up, man? So they say we did, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, I think they most definitely spoke on that, to him pleading the fifth, you know, and not want to talk too much about it, just in case it's something that they can go back, you know, and dig up on him. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Lanice for being a member for the last 22 months, man. You already know, you know what I'm saying? See, I had to renew my stuff already, AB, man. You know we rocking and rolling, man. We rocking and rolling. Salute to everybody in here, man. Make sure you guys are double tapping that screen. Let's get those likes up. You know what I'm saying? Let's hit the like button. Everything News is most definitely on air, guys. We most definitely on air. I need to catch up on this. Right. Something that we all need to know, man, especially if you are a person that got the vax. You know what I'm saying? If you was one of those people that was encouraged to go get this vax by everything that you was hearing being reported on the news and the things that they were reporting and having to say regarding this situation when the pandemic was going, well, this is something that you want to pay attention to, you know, when it comes to Fauci, you know, because like I said, he spearheaded the campaign. He was most definitely the person that people were looking to, you know, for his expertise, you know, when it came to certain situations. And man, oh man, imagine the shock of the American people when he was asked certain questions and he did not answer them. You hear me? Shout out to Rika for that 5. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. My boy Jay Stevens in the building. He say, my ninja, 22 months in this thing. Absolutely, Jay Stevens. They didn't think we was gonna make it 2 days, let alone 22 months, man. We rocking and rolling. We almost at 2 years over here, man. It seemed like yesterday I started this page. Yeah, man. I didn't get it, and I left that job. Let's go, Brenda. You know what I'm saying? I most definitely didn't get it too. I am not afraid to tell y'all that I was one of the people that was just gonna rest it, that was just gonna wait it out. You know, whatever. If I would have got, well, I did get sick. Fortunately, I didn't pass away or nothing like that when it came to the pandemic situation. You know, lucky I ain't passed away or something like that, but I was one of the people that did not go get that vax. I did not, you know what I'm saying? I didn't trust it. That's just me being honest. I felt like it was too fast, you know what I'm saying, too quick, and they was encouraging us too much, you know what I'm saying, to go take it. People being threatened to lose their jobs if they didn't take it, you know, this, that, and the third. Man, look, yo, I most definitely chose not to. I most definitely did. Shout out to Brenda for those 200 Jews, man. You know what it is. Two Jews, 100. Shout out to AB, man. I did not take it. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. We got Mayday, and this I'm gonna say allegedly. He say Senate Homeland Security Committee passes Fuji contempt resolution. Rand Paul to immediately send resolution to DOJ to indict Fuji. This is bad, guys. Fauci, or however you say, y'all forgive me if I say his name wrong. Fauci, Fuji, whichever way, man. This not looking good. This not looking good at all. You know what I'm saying? Pure blood here. Well, congratulations to you being a pure blood. Whatever that's supposed to mean. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? All right, so let's see. They said, yes, being a nurse, our hospital made it mandatory. Only took one, though. Dang, man. Ooh, man. Yeah, let's go. You know what I'm saying? Foxhound, this is the exact education level I expect from an anti-vaxxer. Hey, man, let me tell you something. I made the smartest decision I could have ever made in life. You know what I'm saying? If you took it, hey, more power to you. If you didn't take it, hey, more power to you. I didn't take it, and I'm still here. So with that being said, man, I could care less what you got to say, Doc. Congratulations to you. You know what I'm saying? You play Russian roulette with your life. One of our mods, can somebody drop a disclaimer in the chat, man? Yeah, man, we most definitely exercise the Fair Act use of 19, what is it? I ain't said this in so long, I done forgot. Yeah, here we go. You know what I'm saying? Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowances made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, commenting, news reporting, teaching, scholarships, education, and research. Man, you already know. Thank you, Brenda. You had it on hand. I most definitely appreciate you. But yeah, man, it is what it is. You know, it is what it is. Hey, man, more power to you if you took it. More power to you if you didn't. And Jay Stevens, yeah, man, them rockets still fly every day, so don't get out of line. You know, focus on the content and not on me, because if you go to talking too much about me, I'm gonna get you up out of here. You know what I'm saying? The fastest. I got more rockets than Elon Musk, and I deport people faster than Trump, man. You know what I'm saying? This is most definitely a mass deportation situation for any troll, anybody that wants to talk directly to me in a negative fashion. We will be getting you right up out of here. You know what I'm saying? Your stay will be short-lived, and you will be gone. You will be blocked, and I might never unblock you. yeah, just know that. You know what I'm saying? So focus on talking about the content and not about me, because I will launch you into the stratosphere. I'm just saying. All right, so let's get to the content. Let's most definitely hear exactly what the Senate had to say when it comes down to Dr. Fauci, guys. You know what I'm saying? And y'all feel free in the comments to let me know y'all feelings on this whole entire situation as we watch this play out, you know, live in front of our eyes, guys. You know what I'm saying? Don't be afraid to voice your opinion in the chat. Everybody's angle is accepted. You know what I'm saying? Just don't be trying to get on people and call people all kind of harsh names when they don't agree with your viewpoint on certain situations, man. You know what I'm saying? It's most definitely how you feel about it. I want to know how you feel about it. Feel free to let me know in this chat, you know, how y'all are feeling about this whole entire situation. Let's go, though. Let's get to it.
the committee will consider 55 pieces of legislation today. I note the presence of a quorum. 8 days ago, Dr. Anthony Fauci sat before this committee in the witness chair under subpoena for conduct covered by the President Biden's full and unconditional pardon, reaching back to 2014.
And I know y'all remember, that Biden pardoned Fauci, amongst when he left. He most definitely left Fauci a pardon, and a lot of people didn't like that, but it's most definitely true. Biden most definitely pardoned Fauci.
She faced no risk of federal prosecution. All he had to do was tell the truth. More than 100 times, though, he refused. The chair ruled that Dr. Fauci's assertion of the Fifth Amendment privilege was unsupported in light of the pardon and the testimony he offered in his opening statement. The chair directed Anthony Fauci to answer. He refused again. That is what we are voting on today. Not his opinions, not his policies, not anything he said from a podium 6 years ago. We are voting on whether a witness who has received the benefit of a sweeping federal pardon can be ordered by this committee to answer questions and then defy that order without consequence. More than 1 million Americans died from COVID. Many of them died alone.
I hope that we're going to hold Pam Bundy to the same foot to the same fire, guys. You know what I'm saying? Because she been ducking and dodging, her subpoena to come testify in front of Congress. And when she do, she tells them absolutely nothing, and if they rub her the wrong way, she liable to cuss them out. I'm just saying, though, we got to hold everybody accountable when it comes to situations like these, man. You know what I'm saying? Like these, including her. You know what I'm saying? Including her and the rest of them. But let's continue.
Workers were forced to choose between a mandate and a job they needed. Businesses closed and never reopened. Children lost years of school they will never get back. Americans lost the freedom to work, to worship, and to decide what went into their own bodies. Nothing we do today can undo those losses, but silence does not honor them either. This committee and the American people have a right to know why Dr. Fauci's agency funded dangerous research at the Wuhan Institute of Virology and what role he played in approving and overseeing it. Why he told his colleagues.
Whoa, you know what I'm saying? I see y'all got strong opinions down there. I'm Petty says, enemies of the public. Oh my goodness. Let's go, Brandon. All right. Wish I could take my light. Hey, I tell you, okay, you wish you could take your light back. Well, let me tell you what you can do. Let's start this off right. You know what I'm saying? You're going on a trip in your favorite rocket ship, zooming through the sky. Hater, bye-bye. We don't need you. Hater, bye-bye. Go. Let's get them right up out of here. You know what I'm saying? First deportation of the day, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you can take your light back and you can take your view back, right? View right up out of here. We'll holler at you. Goodbye.
To delete emails. Why he told them to delete emails and then delete the deleted file. What was he told in January 2020? What was said on those calls? What his agency did with and for the intelligence community. And whether, knowing what he knows now, he still believes that the risks were worth taking. Documents tell only part of the story. Many of these questions can be answered only by Dr. Fauci. He answered none of them. There will be another pandemic. The time to determine which legislative reforms are necessary to ensure
thank you,
that the
Jay
mistakes
Stevens
of the past are not repeated is now, not later. This committee passed the Bipartisan Risky Research Review Act to strengthen oversight of dangerous life sciences research funded by the federal government to address failures exposed by the COVID-19 pandemic. But Congress cannot determine what additional reforms are necessary until it fully understands.
Hold on, let me ask this question. So I'm trying to figure out what exactly it is that the people are opposed to when it comes to me showing this content about them basically holding him in contempt. I didn't say I agree with it. I didn't say I disagree with it. I'm just bringing y'all the breaking news is that they held Dr. Fauci in contempt. I'm tripping. This has got me tripping, y'all. They mad. I won't be a part of it. A part of what? Finding out what happened today. Lord have mercy. What's going on?
What remains unanswered? Holding a witness in contempt is a serious thing, and it should be rare. But But the contempt power exists for precisely this circumstance. Oversight is not a courtesy this committee extends or a favor a former official grants us. It is a constitutional obligation. And when voluntary cooperation ends, Congress must be able to compel compliance with its lawful demands. That is Congress's compulsory instrument. A subpoena is not an invitation. A subpoena with no consequence is not a subpoena, it's a suggestion. Seeking the truth is not a witch hunt. Accountability is not vengeance. Accountability is what stands between the American people and a repeat of the mistakes and the very real consequences of the past. Senator Peters, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Hold on, I got to stop it real quick. Can we get y'all to hit that like button? We over 700 people in the building, man. We ain't even got 100 likes. If you don't know how to hit the like button, man, all you got to do is double tap your screen or click the three dots in the right hand corner and hit that thumbs up, guys. Let's get the likes up. Let's get as many likes as we can get. If you in here and you're able, you know, your fingers are not broke, you know, you're looking at your screen, double tap that screen. That's how you hit the like button. We need the likes over 100 ASAP, guys. Hit that like button. We almost there.
The Senate Homeland Security and Government Affairs Committee has a long and very proud history of conducting serious bipartisan oversight on behalf of the American people. Democrats and Republicans have worked together to follow the facts, compel information, and hold both Democratic and Republican administrations alike accountable. That work depends on the credibility of this committee. It depends on the legitimacy of our investigations and a recognition by witnesses, courts, and the public that Congress is exercising its powers dutifully. The contempt resolution before us today puts all of that at risk. Following a one-sided investigation and a rushed process that has repeatedly excluded the minority and other members of this committee, the chairman is now asking the committee to take a vote that could harm our ability to conduct future investigations and disregards constitutional protections long recognized by the U.S. Senate, all without making a reliable case that there is a legal basis for holding Dr. Fauci in contempt. Let's be clear, this resolution will not provide the committee with any additional information or compel Dr. Fauci to provide answers to our inquiries. Criminal contempt is punitive. It does not compel a witness to answer questions or produce the documents we'd all like to see. What it will do is create a damaging precedent that future witnesses will use to resist legitimate congressional oversight and weaken this committee's ability to compel testimony. For decades, the Senate has maintained that a witness must appear before a committee even when that witness intends to invoke the Fifth.
Dennis, why do you feel like they are anti-science? Let me know. You know what I'm saying, Dennis? I seen you put that in the chat. Why do you feel that the GOP is anti-science? Does anybody else feel like that, or is he the only one? Let me know in the chat.
Amendment. Senate committees have been able to defend that position in the courts because both Democratic and Republican chairs have consistently recognized and respected the constitutional rights of witnesses when they appear. And when a witness refuses to voluntarily appear, that principle leaves the Senate on very strong ground to compel their appearance and, where necessary, in rare instances, make referrals for criminal contempt. If this committee now seeks to punish a witness for asserting their constitutional protected Fifth Amendment rights, future witnesses will argue that appearing before Congress exposes them to punishment regardless of whether they comply with the subpoena and invoke a constitutional protection. They will point.
Wow, guys, did you hear what he said? Future witnesses may feel like that they don't have to testify in front of Congress if they don't hold Fauci, accountable, guys. If they don't hold him accountable for pleading the Fifth, you know what I'm saying? It could encourage other individuals to do the same. How y'all feel about that? Let's go.
Directly to this vote as a justification for refusing to appear at all. That would make it harder for this committee and every committee in Congress to compel testimony in future investigations. The chairman has also suggested he may attempt to refer this matter to the Department of Justice without approval of the full Senate. That would be even more dangerous and widely unprecedented move. No individual senator, and no committee speaks for the entire Senate as a whole.
Miss America says things that took years to put in place, they erase overnight with no real reason or scientific evidence of why. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? I agree. You know, it most definitely has been that way, Miss America.
The Senate's institutional powers belong to the full body. Allowing one chairman to unilaterally assert those powers would invite future chairs in both parties to bypass the Senate whenever they cannot secure the support of their colleagues. This investigation has been one-sided from the beginning. The minority has been excluded from witness interviews and full access to committee records. And information has been selectively released to support conclusions that the chairman reached years ago.
Let's go, Cedric. Cedric says this all is a waste of time. He has a blanket part. So you feel like they just wasting their time with this whole holding him in contempt. Nothing's gonna happen, you know, this, that, and the third, because he has that security blanket. How y'all feel about that?
Process that lacks bipartisan participation and seeks to confirm predetermined conclusions. It does not strengthen congressional oversight. It makes our work to conduct oversight more challenging and less likely to withstand scrutiny. This committee should not damage its future investigative authority to advance the chairman's years-long campaign against a single individual. It is not just what we investigate that matters, and that really matters what we investigate, but it's also how we conduct those investigations. That matters too. So I urge my colleagues to protect this committee, protect the Senate's institutional powers, and oppose this resolution. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Miss Fat to you says definitely a waste of our tax dollars. So y'all feel like this is just propaganda then? No real solution is gonna come from this. Is basically what I'm getting from some of y'all in my chat. Like, hey man, this is just a distraction. You know, this is all smoke and mirrors. They may be acting like they have Dr. Fucci on the chopping block, but really in reality is not like that. Is that what y'all are telling me down there? Let me know, because that's what it's seeming like. That's what I'm gathering.
Despite minority statements to the contrary, this investigation has been conducted with unparalleled transparency. Thousands and thousands of documents have been put up for review from the minority. You have to request a password. They've been informed of that. Not one Democrat has requested a password to look at any of the documents. So there is transparency. They're just not interested in reviewing the documents.
Mr. Chair? I'm sorry, didn't mean to interrupt. I just also want to take
hold on, I'm with you on that. You know what I'm saying? Somebody just typed and said, what about Christy Nome? Yeah, you know, just like I was saying, Pam Bundy, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of others, you know, that have did things that we feel like they shouldn't have done. You know, it makes perfect sense. I see it. You know what I'm saying? I see what y'all are saying. That's why I said, yeah, if you're going to hold his feet to the fire, you need to hold everybody's feet to the fire. They said, let's talk about Jeffrey Epstein and Trump. Exactly, Cedric. I'm just saying, man, you know, they most definitely holding him accountable. And they need to hold everybody accountable when it comes to the situations that take place, any of them. So I feel y'all, you know what I'm saying? I feel y'all. I said that a while ago. I said the same thing, you know. Yeah, because Pam Bundy most definitely go in there and throw her weight around. She won't answer no questions, and if she do, you know, it's a beat around the bush answer. I'm just saying though, yeah, man, hold them all in contempt if they choose not to come tell y'all what it is that the American people need to know.
Moment to address today's contempt resolution vote. There is a real need for a serious bipartisan examination into what went well and what went wrong during our country's response to the pandemic. But that's not what we saw last week in this committee. Instead, my colleagues in the majority held a hearing openly designed to target a single doctor and dedicated public servant who has testified before Congress many times before, and they wanted to blame him for everything that went wrong during the pandemic. The goal was clear, and I want to emphasize this. The goal was to wait for Dr. Fauci to make any kind of misstatement and then have a weaponized Department of Justice file criminal charges for that new statement that would not have been covered by the pardon, leaving Dr. Fauci little choice but to invoke his constitutional right to not walk directly into a trap. So who's helped by this political theater? It's certainly not this committee, which now goes without answers to the important questions about our pandemic response that would help us prepare for future pandemics. It's certainly not parents who are not seeing any action to reverse the devastating cuts to the Affordable Care Act and Medicaid that kicked them off their health insurance. It's certainly not our children who are seeing no pushback or hearings in this committee on the baseless attacks on science and vaccines coming from Senator Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and his administration. Sadly, this is gamesmanship, and it represents everything wrong with Congress, which under this majority is clearly not focused on the priorities of the American people.
Mr. Chairman.
Let's be clear. All that was required from Anthony Fauci last week was to tell the truth. He had no liability if he told the truth. Senator Johnson.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, first of all, I want to associate myself with and second your opening comments. And I also want to strongly rebut the comments from our Democrat colleagues here. You know, particularly when Ranking Member Peters says this has been one-sided and rushed. Rushed?
Right, bad. Bad say, can I sue my job for rejecting my religion exemption? You know, I guess when it comes to taking that vaccine, man, you know, I feel like this may cause a lot of diversity, you know, when it comes to this situation, because a lot of people was forced to take that vaccine. You know, back then, people was losing their jobs if they declined to take it, you know. And yeah, man, you know, maybe this is the first step into people being compensated or things of that nature, you know, when it comes to people who took that vax.
When I was chairman of this committee back in 2020, I started conducting oversight. I held hearings. There was no cooperation in those hearings. As a matter of fact, I remember one when we held a hearing with Dr. Pierre Corey when he came in with all kinds of evidence on the effectiveness of ivermectin. The ranking member then denigrated him. Back then, Dr. Corey was a Democrat. He was shocked at the treatment he was given by the ranking member. How many people died because they lacked early treatment with safe, effective generic drugs? Well, that hearing laid out the truth that this could be something that could help people. And we had a ranking member that did everything that he could to denigrate that truth.
Yeah, man, I see a lot of y'all down there with strong opinions, guys, and I don't mind. Just make sure you misspell your cuss words. You know what I'm saying? When you say profanity, make sure that you misspell it. You know, YouTube be tripping, y'all. I'm not, but YouTube do be. And if you haven't hit that like button, man, double tap that screen. We almost to 200 on the like, man. Make sure you guys are double tapping that screen. That's how you hit the like button. Or click the 3 dots in the right-hand corner and hit that thumbs up as we find out that the Senate most definitely is holding Dr. Fauci in contempt, guys. Let's go.
My current experience as chairman of PSI, we've been holding hearings after hearings. My ranking member Blumenthal, in those hearings, we had one called Voice of the Vaccine Injured. We had parents come in and tell their heart-wrenching stories. We had parents coming in telling the truth. And the ranking member, a few hours before that hearing, held a press conference and said, hope the press doesn't cover it because there's nothing credible about this hearing. If these investigations are one-sided, it's because one side simply doesn't want to look at the truth. They want to bury the truth. They want to memory hole it. They don't want to look at the Fauci diaries and take a look at how contradictory what he wrote to himself, how contradictory it was to what he actually told the public. I think one of the
I ain't gonna lie, that is something, guys. Yeah, if you making notes to yourself and they're saying one thing, but you come out and say another to the public, you're deceiving the public. You know what I'm saying? You're deceiving the public. That is most definitely a problem. I don't know how you feel like people are supposed to overlook that. You know, you supposed to come out and tell us the truth, not what somebody else wants you to tell us. We need the facts. You know, yeah, let's go. You know, I don't know how you can do that. Write down one set of notes to yourself that says this is bad, this is all bad, and then come in front of the American public and say, hey, yeah, everything's fine, this is all good. No, if your note said it was bad, you supposed to tell the people that it's bad. Shout out to Miss Amazingly, you know what I'm saying, for those 30 Jews as well as those 2 Jews. Most definitely appreciate it. But yeah, I find a problem with that. I'm not gonna lie, I find a problem with that. Why are you lying? You know, why are you lying to us? If you said that it was bad in your notes and then you came out and told the public that everything was good, well, you're most definitely deceiving the public, and that's not good, and that's not right.
Diaries, I think probably the most significant one that's being overlooked was early on in the pandemic. He wrote in his diaries he thought COVID would be maybe twice a bad flu season. Now, I'm not downplaying a bad flu season. We have them oftentimes. They overwhelm hospitals. Something to take seriously. But a pandemic that's going to be twice that, is that really worth destroying people's lives, shutting down businesses, destroying an economy? I argued back then that it wouldn't be. It's been 6 years since the pandemic began. We have not had a reckoning of what happened. Last Wednesday's hearing was an excellent hearing from a standpoint of legitimate questions being raised, legitimate questions the American people want answers to, legitimate questions that some of them only Anthony Fauci, Saint Fauci, Mr. Science could answer. And even though we have quotes of him saying, I'm not afraid of any oversight committee, I'm happy to talk to any oversight committee, I have nothing to hide. That's not the position he took last Wednesday. What he displayed last Wednesday was contempt for Congress, contempt for this committee, contempt for our investigation, the same contempt that our ranking members have shown for the diligent oversight and the exposing of the truth that I've been undertaking for 6 years. There's nothing rushed. It's been one-sided, but not because we haven't reached out, not because we haven't involved the other side. The other side, like way too many Americans, have just closed their eyes, covered up their ears, and
all right, so let's read this. It says, it would not serve the public to instill even more fear. The public response would have been catastrophic compared to what it already was. Republicans are full of crap on this. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. And I'm gonna say this the best way I can. When people have terminal illnesses, right, and to which they tell you that you're gonna pass away in a certain amount of time, that instills fear in that person, right? Even though you know it infers fear, it installs fear in that person, you know, and they tell you anyway, right? So what is the difference between telling the public the truth instead of lying to you? Because they want to tell you the truth when it's life threatening. You hear me? That's the best way I can put it. You know what I'm saying? When people have terminal illnesses and they're going to pass away, sometimes whether people want to hear the truth about what they're going through or not, they still tell them. So what make this any different? You know what I'm saying? I want you to tell me the truth regardless, even if I ain't going to like it. Tell me the truth. You know, then that way I choose to deal with it however I want to deal with it. So I feel like you should be transparent. It's never a reason to lie to people about pretty much nothing. I'm just saying, like, if we gonna keep it real, if it instills fear in the public, so be it. You know, that way they can't say you lied to us, if that make any sense.
Refused to look at the truth. I am definitely going to vote yes on contempt of Congress. And my investment.
So Miss Fat, to you, you feel like the difference is a mass panic versus hundreds. All right, I can understand that. But see, that's just like, I don't know, man. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we just gonna have to agree to disagree, you know? Like, cause I'm more of a person, I just keep it real. You know, rather it's going, I mean, lying to people, that's why we here now. Yeah, that's why we here now. Lying to folks is what gets you here now, versus just telling the truth, you know, and handling it accordingly. You know, I'm just saying, what is the problem with, look, y'all, to lie. He say, Fauci decided to lie at every turn. I'm a person, I just want you to keep it real with me. I ain't gonna lie. Everyone should be furious. This isn't left-right issue. Let's go, a left or a right issue. Think about when they said mass evacuation. I think mass, or you might have MASD. Okay, I understand. It was going, you feel like it was going to cause panic, but people were already panicking. You know, from the stuff that they was putting on the news, people passing away, you know, from this. Let's get Erica Killis right up out of here. Congratulations. You just got yourself deported. We'll holler at you. All right, so like I was saying, you know, people were already panicking though. Miss Fat, to you, it was already mass hysteria going on when they first even put it out that there was a virus that you could catch, you know, that was gonna unalive you anyway. You know, I'm just saying, that's my opinion. Everybody's entitled to theirs. You don't have to agree with me, you know what I'm saying, at all. You know, I respect everybody's opinion, you know what I'm saying, just respect mine. I'm not gonna call you no outlandish names because you state your opinion. Everybody has the right, you know, to feel however they feel about the situation.
Investigation has just begun. We've invited Dr. Fauci for a transcribed interview. Okay, he doesn't want to do it in front of the American public. Come in front of our.
Shout out to you, Sean. Thank you.
We'll go through detail and detail. You say you have nothing to hide. Good. We'll do it behind closed doors. We'll transcribe it. That's only one of the interviews we'll be conducting. So again, no, this last week's hearing just began the accountability. There's a lot more accountability that's required. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
The committee will now proceed to consideration of an original resolution. We're going to continue the debate once we get on it. There's going to be time for everyone to speak. The committee will now proceed to consideration of an original resolution authorizing the President of the Senate to certify to the United States Attorney for the District of Columbia the committee's report concerning Dr. Anthony Fauci's refusal to answer questions required.
So what y'all feel about this? She says he did not act alone. He just scared to tell on Trump. Yeah, so she feels like Trump played a big part in this as well. You know what I'm saying? How do y'all feel about it? You know, Yana says, hey, Fauci didn't do this on his own. Trump was right behind him with it too. He should be up here too.
Required by committee subpoena.
Mr. Chairman, I move the motion is to be tabled.
This motion to table is intended to avoid accountability. We only have one question, whether to hold a witness responsible for his contempt towards Congress. The witness had many chances to answer the questions pertinent to our investigation, and he made his decision 111 times. I will oppose this motion and urge my colleagues to do the same. The clerk will call the roll.
I want to comment on the motion, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I move to table this resolution until the chairman commits to abiding by the Senate rules, practice, and laws that address.
Shout out to Jay Stevens for gifting that membership. If you was the person that received that, make sure you thank him because he did it and he did not have to. Shout out to you, man. There's plenty of content on members only. If you was the person that received that membership, feel free, you know, to use it. And go check out some of the other content that I have on members only, guys. Let's go.
Contempt of Congress. Under the Senate rules, longstanding practice, as well as the U.S. Code, following a committee vote, the full Senate must vote to determine whether to refer a resolution of contempt of Congress to the Department of Justice. The Senate as a body, not an individual member, must make that decision. Given that Chairman Paul has indicated he may attempt to bypass this process, which is required by Senate rules and precedent, members of this committee should move to table this resolution until we can be assured by the chairman that he will not take action that weaken the Senate's and this committee's ability to conduct oversight in the future.
The clerk will call the roll.
Second the motion.
Senator Johnson,
No.
Senator Langford.
No.
Senator Scott.
No.
Senator Hawley.
No.
Senator Moreno. Senator Ernst. Senator Moody. Senator Peters.
Yes.
Senator Hassan.
Yes.
Senator Blumenthal.
Yes.
Senator Fetterman.
Yes.
Senator Kim.
Yes.
Senator Gallego.
Yes, by proxy.
Senator Slotkin.
Yes, by proxy.
Senator Paul.
No.
Mr. Chairman, on the vote of those present, the yeas are 5, the nays are 8. On the vote by proxy, the yeas are 2, the nays are 0. On this vote, the yeas are 7, the nays are 8, and the motion is not agreed to.
Mr. Chair,
Senator Hassan.
I move to table consideration of this resolution until the chairman invites the views of legal experts who can speak to the constitutional questions and legal authorities Chairman Paul has raised in his contempt of Congress resolution. This resolution should be tabled until our committee can hear from independent experts about the
Okay, so according to Sean, he says nobody else on the planet Earth can say whether he did good or bad. You know what I'm saying? So basically he's saying, hey man, can't nobody judge this dude. They don't know if he did right or wrong. What's up, Zilla Reich? They saying they don't know if he did right or wrong. You know what I'm saying? How do y'all feel about that? Do y'all agree with what he said or do y'all not agree? You know, that Fauci, that they don't really know if Fauci did right or wrong. You know, he said, unrealistic to think you could get through this with no mistakes. If the American public wasn't so soft, they could tell us the truth. All right, Sean down there, most definitely stating his opinion. Let's go.
applicability of the Fifth Amendment and other constitutional considerations raised by the chairman's actions.
This motion is intended to avoid accountability. I will oppose this motion and urge my colleagues to do the same.
Press the roll call.
Clerk,
Senator-
call the roll.
Senator Johnson.
No.
Senator Langford.
No.
Senator Scott.
Nope.
Senator Hawley.
No.
Senator Moreno. Senator Ernst. Senator Moody. Senator Peters.
Yes.
Senator Hassan.
Yes.
Senator Blumenthal.
Yes.
Senator Fetterman.
Aye.
Senator Kim.
Yes.
Senator Gallego.
Yes, by proxy.
Senator Slotkin.
Yes, by proxy.
Senator Paul.
No.
Mr. Chairman,
Senator
Mr. Chair,
Blumenthal.
Thank
Let's hear the vote first.
on the vote of those present, the yeas are 5, the nays are 8. On the vote by proxy, the yeas are 2, the nays are 0. On this vote, the yeas are 7, the nays are 8. And is not agreed to.
thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Senator Blumenthal.
I move to postpone consideration of this resolution until the committee has an opportunity to hear from Dr. Fauci's attorney, forcibly removed from the hearing last week. I should point out that Dr. Fauci had a well-founded fear based on facts that he was in jeopardy of prosecution for perjury. In fact, the chairman and others on the committee have said the quiet part out loud. They've shouted it repeatedly that their objective in that proceeding was, in fact, to put Dr. Fauci behind bars. He was represented by counsel who attempted to speak at this proceeding, even during the darkest days of the McCarthy hearings. Counsel were allowed to speak. We denied that opportunity to Dr. Fauci, and we should hear from his counsel before we move on this motion so that we can hear his.
Good point. Good point. So we got another person that spoke on when it comes to this pardon that basically Fauci is supposed to have. They say Fauci being pardoned he no longer has the privilege of pleading the fifth. You know, which means he was supposed to just come out and say everything it was to the best of his knowledge. Pleading the fifth is what's got us here because he had a pardon. How do y'all feel about that? Is that facts or is that dude just making that up? Let me know in the chat, you know.
Side of the legal argument here. And I would simply predict, Mr. Chairman, based on the long history of assertion of self-incrimination rights, that there is virtually no chance that a court would actually approve any contempt because he had a well-founded fear of self-incrimination, which entitled him to invoke the Fifth Amendment, and we should hear from his counsel. I ask for a roll call vote.
If you have fear of self-incrimination, that means you did something wrong, right? Let me know. You know what I'm saying? Drop a 1 in the chat. You know, if that makes sense. If you listen, if you have a fear that you're gonna incriminate yourself by saying something, that means you did something wrong, right? Drop a 1 in the chat if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? In order for you to feel like you're gonna incriminate yourself, that means you must have did something wrong. Just saying though, you know, I'm just saying. They say, all right, so tell me why I don't. All right, so let's go. I most definitely, I welcome you. They said, no, it doesn't. Nope. They say, no, it doesn't. You know what I'm saying? Okay, why doesn't it? You know, if I'm in a criminal proceeding, you know, and somebody asks me something, and I say, hey, man, hey, look, I ain't finna say nothing. I might get myself in trouble. You know, that mean I did something wrong. Well, tell me why. Tell me why. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying, tell me why. You know, that doesn't mean that you did something wrong if you plead to not speak about something. You know what I'm saying? If they ask me a question, I say, I plead the Fifth for fear I might incriminate myself. That means I did something wrong, or had knowledge of something that was being done wrong that I don't want to speak on because it could get me in trouble too. I'm just asking, why do I need a pardon if I haven't wronged you? Somebody help me understand, you know what I'm saying? All right, they said a person doesn't give him the right to claim the Fifth. He could have made any statement, and pardon would cover him regardless of his answer. Okay. He can be charged on the state level. Charged for what? He ain't do nothing wrong, remember? They was telling me it don't, for him to plead the Fifth don't mean, you know, basically he did nothing wrong. I'm looking for somebody that may have answered my question. You know what I'm saying? To how he didn't do anything wrong, but he has fear of self-incrimination. I know you up out of here. Let's help you. Let's help you get right up out of here. We'll holler at you. I asked the question. You down there mad. You know what I'm saying? Congratulations. You just got yourself deported. We all support criminals. Let's agree to put all of them in jail. I'm just trying to see. I agree with the lady speaking. Keep the same energy for the great case with Donald Trump. He's going all the way down. Fauci's sole purpose is to study for disease effects. People so lying about the sea making people sick. Okay, well, all right. You don't have to plead the Fifth. Hold on. You don't have to plead the Fifth if you haven't done anything wrong. Facts will prove innocence. If you got something to hide, you need to plead. Well, I guess I wasn't tripping anyway, because ain't nobody told me how that doesn't mean if you have a fear of incriminating yourself, how that means you didn't do nothing wrong. I'm just saying, I always thought that when you do that, if I say I don't want to speak on something because it might get me in trouble, that means I did something wrong. That's just my way of thinking. Hey, I could be wrong.
Even when the Fifth Amendment is appropriately taken where no pardon exists, the Fifth Amendment doesn't allow you to testify on the other side of the question. Basically, you are allowed not to self-incriminate, but you're not allowed to say, oh, I'm not going to self-incriminate, but then I'm going to condemn the committee and the investigation. So he attempted to do that in his opening statement, which courts have looked poorly upon, trying to have it both ways, and allowing the attorney to take the positive role of saying, this is what he would have said had he spoken, but he's not going to speak, also doesn't fit in with the history of the Fifth Amendment. So I will move to table.
Mr. Chairman? Mr. Chairman?
I will oppose tabling the table.
Chairman, just to clarify, what's the name of the attorney?
The attorney could be of Dr. Fauci's choice, as I recall.
No, the attorney that you're speaking of. But you said you want to hear from the attorney. What's the name of the attorney you want to hear from?
I think it was David Scherdler.
Mr. Scheller.
Okay. Could we put in the record that he is also the
Thank you, Nathan.
The attorney for Senator Menendez in the bribery scandal? And also, are you asking that you think it was something he'd be prosecuted for answering Senator Hawley's questions about the color of the carpet?
We could hear, by the way, from Mr. Honorato, who also represented.
But you think there was jeopardy in answering questions? What's the color of your tie? What's the color of the floor? What's the color of the room?
format of the hearing and the responses and who would be there could be determined by the committee. All I'm asking is that we postpone this motion until we hear from an attorney of Dr. Fauci's choice representing his Fifth Amendment rights. And to respond to Senator Paul, there is well-established precedent that.
All right, let me read this super chat. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to that $5 from you, my guy. He says, if you know the people are trying to put you in jail and twist your words to do so, would you not plead the Fifth, even if you did no wrong? Okay, all right. So there go a person, you know what I'm saying, that basically answered that question for me. I feel that. You know what I'm saying? If you know the people are trying to put you in jail and twist your words to do so, would you not plead the Fifth, even if you did no wrong? Ooh, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, because I am a person that believes that the truth shall set you free. You know what I'm saying? So even if I don't know, man, that's a hard one right there. I want to say no. I ain't gonna even lie to you. I ain't gonna even lie to you, bro. I'm gonna tell you the truth. Yeah, man, look. Yeah, I might plead the Fifth too, man. They just want me to say this so they can put me in jail, man. Shout out to Jay Stevens for that 10. He said, you're going on a trip in your favorite rocket ship zooming through the sky. Hater, bye-bye. We don't need you. Hater, bye-bye. Go. Absolutely. Send them into the stratosphere. But I feel you on that one, and that was a good question. Yeah, because I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I most definitely probably would plead the Fifth too. They just trying to put me in jail. But I don't know, because it's tough, bro. I don't know, that's tough, because if I did nothing wrong, then I feel like I don't got nothing to worry about, and the truth shall set me free. You know what I'm saying? Or at least that's how it's supposed to go. You know, once the facts come out, you know, they'll see that I was exactly right. So that was a good question, bro. That was a good question. I ain't gonna even lie to you. I ain't gonna lie to you. But I feel like him being in the position that he is in, that he was supposed to be honest with the American people. He was supposed to be honest and answer the questions, you know, to the best of his ability, even if it would get him in trouble. You know what I'm saying? Because once again, the truth is the truth. No matter how you try to flip it and turn it, it's still the truth at the end of the day. Lies got to be retold, you know, spent around, but it ain't no denying the truth. The truth gonna stay the same every time.
Witnesses have their attorneys here make statements before the committee, even during the McCarthy hearings. There is also well-established precedent for a witness providing a statement at the outset and then declining to answer questions afterward. I think.
Man, my stuff lagging over here for some reason. Shout out to the friendly animal of Space Rock for those 1,000 Jews. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right, we got Reggie that says Brown versus Walker. The court held that when a witness has immunity equivalent to a pardon, the Fifth Amendment privilege, a pardon, the Fifth Amendment privilege. All right, thank you for that 5, bro. He most definitely trying to give y'all some facts. You know, I think he was the one that said earlier that dude had the that Fauci had a pardon. So you know, no matter what he said, he couldn't get in trouble. And I think he just emphasized that in that super chat.
Most of the prosecutors here know that if one of us, as a prosecutor, had said, I'm putting this witness behind bars, and then call him to a grand jury or any other proceeding, there's simply no way that a court would say you can hold him in contempt because he's invoked his Fifth Amendment rights. I mean, this is sort of black letter, basic constitutional rights, Senator Moreno. And I think all of us in this committee really have a stake in making sure those rights are respected, because if we tear down the precedents and the principles of the Fifth Amendment now, there is no telling where the decline will wind us up, and we will all reap the windfall.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Not to disagree with my fellow former Attorney General, Senator Blumenthal. The reason, but since Senator Moreno mentioned it, the reason that I asked Dr. Fauci what color his tie was and what day of the week it was and what color the carpet is, he looked, by the way. I thought he was going to answer that one. He looked very carefully at the carpet, then he decided not to answer. The reason I asked those questions was precisely to test the.
You was trying to see if he a lie or not. What color is your tie? Oh, it's red. What color is the floor? Oh, it's blue. You know what I'm saying? You wanted to see if he was gonna lie about what day it was or what color his tie was. That's why you asked him them questions. Let's go though.
The good faith nature of his invocation of the Fifth Amendment, because as the lawyers in the room will know, the invocation of the Fifth Amendment, particularly in a context where immunity has already been obtained, Dr. Fauci has full immunity. He has a full and unconditional pardon for a period of some 11 years. In that context, the assertion of the Fifth Amendment privilege only adheres to those instances where the witness has a reasonable fear of future prosecution, and it must be tailored to any such fear. And the fact that he wouldn't answer questions about the tie he was wearing or the color of the carpet or the day of the week, Senator Paul asked him about, did he have a folder in front of him? He wouldn't answer that. Betrays the fact that his invocation of the Fifth Amendment wasn't tailored to anything. It was a predetermined, premeditated design to evade this committee's questions on any subject, including emphatically those for which he has a pardon. And the United States Supreme Court has been clear for over a century, dating back to 1896.
Hold on, guys. Let me refresh this real quick. I'm gonna take a short second to refresh this, to see if I can get it to stop skipping. I don't like that skip. That skip get on my nerves to watch it just be doing what it's doing. Let's see if this will clear that up real quick. Hold on, let me put it back up here. Let's see what we get.
That when a witness has received immunity, he may not stand upon his privilege. And multiple courts of appeals from the United States, including the United States Supreme Court in the Castigar case, has says that, I'm going to quote now, a witness must reasonably believe that his statements could be used in criminal prosecution or could lead to other evidence that might be so used. The court has also said that the danger must be real and appreciable. It must not be one of imaginary and unsubstantial character. All that to say that I think it's pretty clear, given Dr. Fauci's 111 invocations of the Fifth Amendment, including the questions that he could have no fear of prosecution on. He's not going to get prosecuted for the color of his tie. Shows that he had no interest and no intention of answering any of our questions, and that is an abuse of the privilege. There's no privilege for any of that, and I think there was no good faith attempt to invoke.
Mr. Chairman, I really need to answer with your permission that point.
Senator Blumenthal.
Whether
Hold on. Give me a second. Let me refresh this page real quick to see if we can't stop this skipping. You know what I'm saying? Take this time to double tap the screen. If you have not, to hit the like button. That's how you hit the like button. And most definitely subscribe to the channel if you are new, guys. Hold on. Give me about 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Hold on. All right, let's see if that fixed it. You know what I'm saying? Let's see if that fixed it. Let me get it back up here. Hold on. Can y'all hear me out there still? Can everybody hear me? Let me know y'all can hear me out there. Can y'all hear me out there? Let me know. You know what I'm saying? That it ain't tripping. Can y'all hear me? Drop a 1 if you can hear me in the chat. Let me know y'all can hear me out there. Can y'all hear me? Okay, all right, bet. I see the yeses. All right, bet. Let's see if that fixed it. Thank y'all for letting me know.
he had a reasonable fear, I think, is beyond question. Not only the chairman of the committee, but 3 state attorneys general have said that they are conducting investigations of Dr. Fauci. The color of his tie, the color of the carpet, maybe you were testing his good faith, but
it seemed like it made it worse, y'all. Lord have mercy.
Your questions, it is whether he had a reasonable fear, and it is to be liberally construed, as you know, under the Supreme Court cases that you cited in favor of the potential defendant. President Trump invoked the Fifth Amendment 440 times in his deposition with the New York Attorney General. Nobody held him in contempt for doing so.
Thank you, Ms. D.
This right is so fundamental that we ought to seriously consider, before we take this immensely historic step and hear from his counsel as to what he feared, why, and how. And my motion would simply postpone consideration of this contempt motion until we hear from him.
The primary question of the hearing last week was to understand why Dr. Fauci made the decision to do this funding of this research in Wuhan. I can't understand how there could be any liability attached to a question of why. That's his opinion of why he funded it. There's not a crime in funding it. There's a judgment.
And
question.
Mr. Chairman, there is
That we got the Fifth Amendment. All he had to do was tell the truth. Clerk will call the roll on the Blumenthal motion. I will vote no.
Senator Johnson,
No.
Senator Langford,
No.
Senator Scott, Senator Hawley, Senator Moreno, Senator Ernst, Senator Moody,
yes.
Senator Peters,
Yes.
Senator Hassan,
Yes.
Senator Blumenthal,
Yes.
Senator Fetterman,
Yes.
Senator Kim,
Yes.
Senator Gallego,
Yes, by proxy.
Senator Slotkin,
Yes, by proxy.
Senator Paul.
No.
Mr. Chairman, on the vote of those present, the yeas are 5, the nays are 8, and the vote by proxy, the yeas are 2, the nays are 0 on this vote. The yeas are 7, the nays are 8, and the motion is not agreed to.
Mr. Chairman, I move to table this resolution. I move to table consideration of this resolution until the chairman commits to abiding by the,
Make sure you guys are taking time to hit that like button. Double tap the
Until the
screen.
chairman provides all members of this committee with access to all documents, transcripts, and materials related to this investigation, which I have repeatedly requested since the beginning of this Congress. Senate and committee rules are clear that all members of this committee have a right to access committee documents. The chairman has publicly stated he has received over 1 million documents as part of this investigation and has only shared a small fraction with the minority, despite repeated requests over the past year and a half. That's why I urge my colleagues to vote for this. And I just want to reply to some of the comments made by the chair that we just didn't want to look at this information. We have been asking for information for quite some period of time over the past 18 months, and at every turn, whether it's the documents or trying to have the ability to question witnesses, we have been denied. Just in April of this year, your staff conducted a transcribed interview of Ralph Barrick without even notifying my staff about the interview. After you
Shout out to that 5 from what is it? I'm gonna say 821. They say, if you don't trust the questions of those who ask them, would you answer them at all? Good faith is given those you trust to be unbiased. In good faith. Okay, all right, I feel you. You know, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I still feel like, you know, with the position that he hold and the trust that people had in him, you know, as far as his status or whatever, his knowledge of what was going on, that he owes it to the American people to be transparent no matter what. You know what I'm saying? No matter what, he's supposed to tell the truth, if you ask me. You know what I'm saying? But you are most definitely putting forth great questions. I most definitely appreciate you, and thank you for those 5, man. And for anybody else, you know, that may have something that they most definitely want to be spoke on, feel free to super chat it so I don't miss it. It's a lot going on in this chat. You know, it's moving 100 miles per hour. I may not catch everything, but I most definitely catch it if you put it in color. Just know that.
posted the transcript publicly. We asked for the unredacted version and the classified portion. Received absolutely no response. You refused to let the minority participate in the transcribed interview that Dr. Fauci agreed to do voluntarily. To a comment one of my colleagues made, we could just do it and have a transcript in private. We were open to that. Dr. Fauci was open to it, but we were declined ability to do that. It was going to be one-sided, and when he knew it was going to be one-sided, he didn't want to come in. This committee normally always deals in a bipartisan way. We should have been there asking those questions as well. I know that the chairman says that these documents were on some sort of website. We did not know about that website. We were told that there was a letter talking about the website. We understand it was hard copy only. We have no record of receiving it. Most of everybody on the dais has no record of receiving it. And yet, as we continually ask for documents, if there was this website, which is different than what we have done as a committee, we always have a shared site where all of us can take a look at documents. We all have a right as members of the committee to look at those documents. If this other website existed, and we were supposedly told about it in a letter, and we didn't get it, we don't have any record of receiving it, we didn't see it. But there were numerous times where the chairman's staff, when we were asking for documents, could have said, hey, go to that website. We have. Oh, okay, we'll take a look at it. We didn't. We made, I don't know, we have records of.
All right, so Louise says, I may not agree with everything Fauci does, but I saw what they wanted, and I would have not said anything either. Already, my guy. You know what I'm saying? I ain't knocking you for the way you feel. Most definitely. Hey, if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Let's let them continue.
All these emails, we have records. I can go through them. I don't need to maybe go through them all. We got them tabbed. You know, where are these records? We'd like to see records. Crickets. Nothing. No mention of it. Could have been a mention like, oh, well, by the way, we have this. This is over 18 months. Like stonewalling for 18 months. That's not the way this committee should ever work. It didn't work when I was chair. Now Chairman Paul, we went through investigation. We had a detailed investigation of COVID-19. All those documents were provided. We worked with then ranking member Paul. Under Chairman Paul, we don't get those records. That's just not the way this place should work. And I would hope my colleagues on the other side of the aisle would realize that too, because things change. If we make this the new precedent, there will be a Democrat as a chair. Would you want them to do that? Would you want to be treated that way? I don't think you're going to want to be treated that way as well. And you'll scream and holler about it. We should stop it right now. Let's continue to have the kind of bipartisan investigations that has made this committee a powerful committee over the years. Right now, we're ceding all that. We're just making it highly partisan. And when you make it highly partisan, people just ignore what you do. And that's really tragic. I think and it's sad. So I would urge my colleagues to table this resolution. Let us take a look at these documents. They're on his private web or whatever he has set up for it. We'll take a look at it. But we should get back to the practice where we actually have shared information. I know when Senator Johnson was chair, we had shared information. I know he wanted shared information under Chairman Paul's
Okay, we
chairmanship
need to
as
get
well.
to the motion.
So, but let me finish. Is that
I've let
this-
you go on, and we're gonna get to the votes.
Well, I understand that, but
He didn't want to let him finish. He say, man, I've been letting you go. You just going on and on. Let's get to the vote. Cut him right off mid-sentence, you know. Like, hey, man, you know what I'm saying? Enough for the mumbo jumbo. Let's get to this vote.
don't remember ever cutting you off when you were ranking member, and I've always respected your rights, and I continue to respect your rights. I would just hope that you would offer that same courtesy to us because things do change and precedent is important. And I would urge my colleagues to table this resolution until we have a chance to look at the information, as has been the practice of this committee for as long as this committee has been in existence.
For the record, Anthony Fauci refused a voluntary private deposition, and that's why he was brought in under subpoena.
Because it was going to be one-sided.
Don't interrupt the
Because it
chair.
was gonna
Don't
be
interrupt the chair. With regard to access to records.
Oh, wow, that's crazy. Hey, shut him right down. They say he's shutting him down because he's making valid points. Okay, all right. Yeah, it looked like we got a little hostility going on in the Senate. Let's go. He said, don't cut off the chair. Don't cut off the chair. Boy, this is crazy.
There has been an unprecedented access to records. They have all been uploaded on a website that you were invited to join. You refused to join. You had utter disdain. You never even asked for the password. Not one of you ever signed up. It's been up for over a year. The information is there for the taking. I've repeated it publicly over and over. Don't come to this hearing saying you weren't given the records. The records were given. The clerk will call the roll.
Senator
So you're
Johnson.
No.
Senator Langford.
All right. Get them together then. Get them together.
Senator Hawley. Senator Moreno. Senator Ernst. Senator Moody. Senator Peters.
Yes.
Senator Hassan.
Yes.
Senator Blumenthal. Senator Fetterman. Senator Kim. Senator Gallego,
Yes, by proxy.
Senator Slotkin,
Yes, by proxy.
Senator Paul.
No.
Mr. Chairman, on the vote of those present, the yeas are 5, the nays are 8. On the vote by proxy, the yeas are 2, the nays are 0. On this vote, the yeas are 7, the nays are 8, and the motion is not agreed to.
Seeing no
Chairman.
other motions, the question is on reporting of an original resolution.
Mr. Chairman, I
regarding
have
contempt.
a motion. Mr.
We
Chairman,
we will entertain more motion.
Man, this is crazy, man. He got him right together, man, real fast. Cut him right off and told him, hey, let's get to the vote. And they still can't pass it yet. They're going to go and go and go until it happens. I need everybody in the building to do me one favor. If you're not subscribed to this channel, man, make sure you take time to press that subscribe button, man. We on the road to 64K. We need all the subscribers we can get. So subscribe. If you hadn't, subscribe to the channel, man. It's most definitely appreciated, and most definitely double tap that screen to hit the like button. That's how you do it if you're on a mobile device.
But the discussion has become dilatory, and so the discussion.
I have one more motion,
Listen
Mr.
to
Chairman.
my ruling. The discussion will be for 2 minutes. You will have 2 minutes to present your motion. Senator Blumenthal.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move to postpone consideration of this resolution until this committee has an opportunity to seek leave from the Department of Justice to obtain a court order providing Dr. Fauci with immunity from prosecution in exchange for his testimony on matters raised during the committee's hearing. The immunity from prosecution could be limited to perjury. It is standard procedure. And again, we need to hear from his counsel as to whether it would be satisfactory to provide immunity. If this committee is really interested in serious answers to the serious questions, it will seek to provide him with this very limited immunity to appear before this committee. There is a need for a serious inquiry to answer questions arising from the pandemic. We need to know where COVID originated, how it spread, what could have been done better. We need to hear not only from Dr. Fauci, but from others in the course of a bipartisan, nonpartisan inquiry, perhaps through a commission where, again, Dr. Fauci could testify, a 9/11 type commission. But this kind of show trial is no way to elicit the important information that the country needs to know. So I ask that we postpone consideration of this resolution until we can give Dr. Fauci the kind of legal protection against self-incrimination that he needs.
The clerk will call the roll.
Once again, I ask, why does he need protection? I'm still stuck on that. Why does he need protection against self-incrimination if he did nothing wrong? That part is getting me, y'all. That's what's getting me.
Senator Johnson. No. Senator Langford.
No.
Senator Scott. Nope. Senator Hawley. No. Senator Moreno. Senator Ernst. Senator Moody. Senator Peters.
Yes.
Senator Hassan. Yes. Senator Blumenthal. Yes. Senator Fetterman. Senator Kim. Senator Gallego.
Yes, by proxy.
Senator Slotkin.
Yes, by proxy.
Senator Paul.
No.
Mr. Chairman, on the vote of those present, the yeas are 5, the nays are 8. On the vote by proxy, the yeas are 2, the nays are 0. On this vote, the yeas are 7, the nays are 8, and the motion is not agreed to.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to, Mr. Chairman, without objection, I'd like to enter into the record all of the copies of emails that we sent to your staff asking to have access to information. And you will see in these emails, there's either absolutely no response or no way to understand that there's a separate email or a separate place somewhere where we can get an email. Certainly, I'll put these in the records without objection. Certainly would be open to see any emails that actually told us about this. We can't find any in any of our electronic records, and we'd be open to seeing that, but I would like to do this without objection.
Without objection. Seeing no other
Mr. Chairman,
motions, the
Mr. Chairman,
question is on
Mr.
reporting of
Chairman,
an original
pursuant to Committee
resolution
Rule 6B,
regarding.
If I may, Mr. Chairman.
Y'all, hey, Senator Johnson keep on, he keep on cutting him off. He will not let this dude speak for nothing in the world. Every time he start talking, he cut him off. Man, that is too funny. I'm taking it that the other guy that keeps getting cut off, He must be on Fauci's side. He must be one of Fucci, or however you say his name. He must be one of those people that's on his side, because this guy here will not let this guy talk for nothing in the world.
Go ahead.
Seeing no other motions, the question is on reporting of an original resolution regarding contempt of Congress. The clerk will call the roll.
Senator Johnson,
Yes.
Senator Langford,
Aye.
Senator Scott,
Yes.
Senator Hawley,
Aye.
Senator Moreno,
On behalf of the millions of people harmed by Anthony Fauci, resoundingly yes.
Senator Ernst, Senator Moody, Senator Peters.
Man, he said no. So that let me know he on Fauci's side. But that other dude said about for the millions of people that were hurt by Fauci, he said yes.
Senator Hassan, Senator Blumenthal, Senator Fetterman, Senator Kim, Senator Gallego,
No by proxy.
Senator Slotkin,
No by proxy.
Senator Paul.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, on the vote of those present, the yeas are 8, the nays are 5. On the vote by proxy and for the record only, the yeas are 0, the nays are 2. On this vote, the yeas are 8, the nays are 5, and the motion is agreed to.
Mr. Chairman,
I
pursuant to
haven't
committee rule.
recognized you.
Mr. Chairman,
We've had ample remarks on this. The chair will limit remarks to 2 minutes. I will give you another chance to state your opinion, which has been amply stated. You have 2 minutes.
well, Mr. Chairman, pursuant to Committee Rule 6B and Senate Rule 26, Section 10C, I'm notifying you that I intend to file minority views regarding this resolution.
The clerk will report the conclusion of the vote,
Just did.
and that it is reported favorably. The committee will now proceed to consideration of S 4505, a bill to require the U.S. Postal Service to designate zip codes for certain communities. Senator Ernst.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman, for holding today's markup. And I do have an amendment at the desk in the nature of a substitute for S 4505, designating single zip codes. Americans deserve timely and efficient mail service, and unfortunately, far too many of our communities aren't having their needs met.
All right, Jay, I'll catch you later, man. I most definitely check the Cash App. I appreciate you, big dog. Thank you very much.
By the United States Postal Service. We have delayed tax refunds. We have voter registration confusion. There are misdirected prescription deliveries. And it's time we change this, because our families are facing real world consequences by having an outdated USPS zip code. So these folks aren't minor inconveniences. They are affecting our families. Now, cities can appeal to the U.S. postal system for changing their zip codes. And most often the answer is no to those communities. And unfortunately, the process is not transparent, and they can only appeal these no's every 10 years. And so we have communities like Urbandale, Iowa, where families, our medical centers, and our schools are not receiving their mail, or have to send someone to a post office a community over to collect their misdirected mail. This is not acceptable, and it is time for Congress to act. A lot of folks will say that Congress shouldn't be involved in this, but we should be, because this is one place where the Constitution couldn't be clearer. Article 1, Section 8, Clause 7 says Congress has the power to establish post offices and post roads. In other words, fixing postal problems is one of the jobs that we are actually supposed to do. The USPS has not been doing its job, and so it's time for Congress to step in and fix these zip code boundaries. Let's pass this bill. The
Zip codes? I thought we was talking about Fauci.
substitute actually adds 8 additional communities into the bill. This bill passed by voice vote in the House of Representatives. So I am asking and urging all of my colleagues to support my amendment to the underlying bill. And I would like to submit for the record the letter asking for those 8 additional communities to be included.
Without objection. Are there further amendments?
Mr. Chairman,
Do you have an amendment to offer?
I'm going to comment on the amendment.
There, a comment on the bill.
Or the bill,
Let's
on the bill.
go with the amendments first. Are there any amendments to be offered?
The substitute, yes.
We will consider the bill as the substitute with unanimous consent that the other 8 be included. Comments on the bill?
Mr. Chairman.
Senator Peters.
So I certainly understand my frustrations with my colleagues and certainly respect Senator Ernst immensely and been working with her on this issue. I just want to raise the issue that under the leadership of chairs of both parties, his GAC has avoided legislating and establishing zip codes.
I'm guessing
As
so.
the Postmaster General testified.
I'm guessing when he put it into the record, you know what I'm saying? That may have been it on Fauci, man. Hold on, let me see. Let's fast forward a little bit because I ain't talking about the post office.
But I do think this is important for those rural communities.
And the only thing I would add to that is that what happens is that
Yeah, they talking about rural communities and everything else. Hold on, let's get back to Fauci. Hold up real quick. Let's check out some of the reactions, you know, of the people, you know, basically how the people are feeling about what's going on. Hold on real quick. Let me do this. We finna get right back to Dr. Fauci. Hold on real quick. Yeah, I'm not here to talk about the other stuff. It's important too, but that ain't what I'm on today. So, you know, it went by so fast, we must have missed it. You hear me? Yeah, let's talk about, you know, what kind of effect this has, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to the American people or for Dr. Fauci himself. Hold on, let me get another one up here. So we through with that one because we stick in the topic. Hold on. But they most definitely found him in contempt. You know what I'm saying? I think it just slid by so fast we missed it. Hold on.
Nays are 5, and the motion is agreed to.
The Senate Homeland Security Committee voted.
That's where they just agreed to it right there. See, it went by so fast we missed it. You know, I thought they was gonna talk about it more, but CNN most definitely hit it right on point. Let's go.
8, the nays are 5, and the motion is agreed to.
The Senate Homeland Security Committee voted to hold Dr. Anthony Fauci in contempt for his testimony last week where he refused to answer questions. He cited the Fifth Amendment, the right to not incriminate himself, more than 100 times. The committee voted to hold him in contempt for that testimony or lack of testimony. Now it will be up to the Justice Department, presumably, to decide whether to prosecute. There are all kinds of legal issues. There are all kinds of Senate procedural issues. You just got a civics lesson a little bit on the idea of what can be tabled and not tabled. But the bottom line is this committee just voted to hold Dr. Fauci in contempt. We've got a number of people with us to answer some questions about what we just saw. We want to start with our senior legal analyst, Ellie Hogan. And I just want to start with the basic legal question at play here, which is Dr. Anthony Fauci was granted a pardon by President Biden for his activities up until, January 20th, 2025, right? So that...
For the people that may not know, this is kind of like a rundown, of exactly what it is that's going on, y'all. What's up with it, K-Cell? What's up, my guy, man? We back in the building. What's up with you? Appreciate you for that 10. We finding out what's going on with Fauci. That's what we doing right now. This is crazy. Shout out to you for those 100 Jews as well. This is a waste of time and it's a dog on a pony show. Okay, so a lot of people feel like they're just wasting taxpayer money because according to what I've heard, Fauci has a pardon, guys, which means he can't basically get in trouble. So the people are like, why even be doing all of this in the first place? Well, you know what I'm saying? They have their reason. Let's get back to the breakdown, guys.
Does that mean he can or can't take the Fifth when he's testifying? That's what's at play here.
First things first. Any person can take the Fifth when they're questioned by Congress. You have that right. The complication here, of course, as John said, is that Dr. Fauci received a pardon from Joe Biden. If a person has been pardoned, he cannot be criminally charged for anything within the scope of that pardon, and therefore
they are breaking down what it means to have a pardon and have to go in front of Congress and testify. I seen somebody earlier come through and say once you got that pardon, you cannot plead the Fifth, right? Well, they're going to most definitely explain and answer All of that for everybody who may not know exactly what it is that's going on when it comes to that situation. Let's go.
Fifth for anything within the scope of the pardon. But the third thing, and the wrinkle here, is Dr. Fauci's position through his lawyer is he might still have criminal exposure outside the scope of that pardon. That pardon only covers federal crimes. He could still be prosecuted for state crimes. We know there have been various state attorney general investigations of Dr. Fauci. He also could theoretically be charged for anything after the date of the pardon, after January 19th, 2025.
So they just basically confirmed what some of y'all said earlier. He can still be charged on the state level when it comes to all of this. Even though, you know, he has that pardon, he can still be charged on the state level.
And on that basis, I believe Dr. Fauci does have a valid legal right to take the fifth.
All right. So this is a very pedantic question, but what is the difference between the power that Congress has legally, or in this case, a congressional committee, and a court of law?
Right. So right now, Dr. Fauci is in, I would say, contempt of Congress, sorta. He's more like in contempt of one committee of Congress. So first of all, ordinarily, the way this goes, and we've seen various contempt motions over the past several years. First, the committee votes. If it gets through the committee, then it goes to the full House or the full Senate. Apparently, Senator Rand Paul believes that he doesn't need to bring it. He doesn't want to bring it to the full Senate. Why that may be, I'll leave to Manu and our congressional experts. But Dr. Fauci has not been indicted right now. He's not under any criminal charge for contempt. But what happens now is going to be the really important decision. It goes over to the Justice Department, specifically by law, the U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia, Jeanine Pirro, who's made a lot of news recently over the Reflecting Pool case. She, presumably along with the Attorney General, will make a decision. Do we bring a criminal contempt prosecution against Dr. Fauci? This has been done in different circumstances, but in recent memory. For example, Peter Navarro and Steve Bannon both were prosecuted. They were indicted, they were tried, they were convicted, and both went to prison for 4 months for contempt of Congress.
Shout out to K-Cell. He says, let's get those likes to 300. Well, we already there. We need to get the likes to 400. We need 30 more likes to be at 400, guys. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We need all the subscribers we can get. We're currently on the road to 64K. So subscribe, y'all. Shout out to everybody in the building that's made it thus far. I appreciate y'all, you know, paying attention to the content, guys. Yeah, but there's a lot going on. And for the people down there talking about people doing research, don't listen to CNN, this, that, and the third. Man, that man know what he talking about when it comes to Fauci being able to be charged on the state level. I had people come through my chat earlier and say the same thing before we even viewed this video. So stop the cap with the nonsense you got going on down there in the comments. Let's go.
In relation to the January 6th investigation back in 2022-23. So this is real. I mean, the stakes here for Dr. Fauci could potentially be,
thank you, fine tuning,
DOJ decides, a criminal indictment and prosecution.
And this is because Anthony Fauci the Republicans say, didn't answer their questions in this committee hearing. Beyond some, we can get into why they asked some of what would be seen as less serious questions. They had reason.
Hey, Murphy, I see you down there parading. You know what I'm saying? You just let me know if you want to be here or not. I got no problem with getting you right up out of here. You know what I'm saying? What likes? I did it once. Calm down. I wasn't talking to you, but you parading real hard to get blocked, man. Listen, man, focus on the content. If you already hit the like button, I'm not talking to you, but you parading real hard down there. You doing everything in your power to get blocked off this page. Don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying? Keep it up. You know what I'm saying? You will be deported.
To do that, they say, what are the questions that he was asked that they wanted to get answered from him?
Well, specifically from Rand Paul, as he said at the beginning, it's this focus on the origins of COVID, whether NIH funded what he says is dangerous research in the lab in Wuhan, and whether Dr. Anthony Fauci covered that up, including in testimony to Congress. We have heard from Dr. Fauci on this before, including as recently as 2024 in front of another congressional committee, where he says the origins of COVID are more likely a natural spillover event, although we all must keep an open mind about that scientifically until we have better answers. The WHO has said it's seeking more information from China on it.
Valley, let's get Valley right up out of here. See, what you did was slow. You know what I'm saying? That was the dumbest thing you could have ever done, was type that in my chat. Now we'll holler at you. Congratulations, you just got deported. Yeah, we was fast to do that to you. All you had to do was get out of line. We get you right up out of here. See ya.
Says that while the NIH, it is well documented, was funding some research out of Wuhan, that it wasn't against the restrictions around this kind of gain of function research. I think a lot of people would say that these are valid questions to talk about for preventing the next pandemic. What kind of research should the United States fund? What kind of research has the risk-benefit profile that will help us prevent the next pandemic while avoiding risky research that we don't want to have done? Those are the kinds of conversations people want to have, but it's obviously difficult to have them in these kinds of contexts.
All right, Mick Terrell, Ellie Honig, thank you very much for helping us understand what we just saw.
Let's go live right now to CNN senior reporter Annie Grayer. She's up on Capitol Hill. Annie, what more are you learning about this historic vote today?
Well, Wolf, it unfolded in the committee room behind me where all Republicans voted to hold Anthony Fauci in contempt of Congress. And what's unusual here is normally what would then happen is an entire vote would happen in the Senate. Instead, the chairman of this committee, Rand Paul, is going to send this referral directly to the Department of Justice. And that is taking an unprecedented path that Democrats warned as this vote was happening could set a new precedent. That Democrats warned that they might try something similar if they ever reclaim the majority. But Republicans feel firm in their position here that they want the Department of Justice to look at whether Anthony Fauci can plead the Fifth Amendment and not testify to Congress, because as we saw in his hearing, Fauci pled the Fifth more than 100 times, which is his right as a citizen. But Republicans are arguing that they are demanding answers.
Hold on. You worry about likes like a normal YouTuber, then you're not great. You'll just be the same like everyone else. Boy, I'm far from everybody else, boy. You know what I'm saying? The difference between me and them is, you know what I'm saying, I want you to hit my like button. You know what I'm talking about? I'm trying to get to where I'm going. If you don't like it, don't hit the like button. Ain't nobody twisting your arm to be here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, to evolve, you can't go backwards. Exactly. That's why I don't let you tell me nothing. You know what I'm saying? You can't tell me nothing. I'm giving you my time. I'm bringing you the content. The least you can do is hit the like button. You know what I'm saying? I ain't asked you for $1. I ain't tell you to send me no money. I just asked you to hit the like button. It's crazy how you want to be here to consume the content, but don't want to hit the like button. I tell you what, Mr. Murphy, you just paraded. You know what I'm saying? You got what you got. Put the rockets in the chat. Let's get you right the hell up out of here. We'll holler at you. Bye. Congratulations. You just got yourself deported. See ya.
And the DOJ needs to investigate. Democrats were trying to delay this vote this morning and wanting legal experts to weigh in, wanting to have more of a discussion about this process before Republicans just went forward with it. At points, Wolf, this hearing got pretty heated. Take a listen to some of that back and forth.
I've let you go on, and we're gonna get to the votes.
Well, I understand that, but I don't remember ever cutting you off when you were ranking member, and I've always respected your rights, and I continue to respect your rights. I would just hope that you would offer that same courtesy to us because things do change and precedent is important. And I would urge my colleagues to table this resolution until we have a chance to look at the information, as has been the practice of this committee for as long as this committee has been in existence.
For the record, Anthony Fauci refused a voluntary private deposition, and that's why he was brought in under subpoena.
Because it was going to be one-sided.
Don't interrupt.
Appreciate you, K-Cell. That's when they got into it a while ago, y'all.
With regard to access to records, there has been an unprecedented access to records. They have all been uploaded on a website that you were invited to join. You refused to join.
Oh.
So that went back and forth for a while. Democrats arguing that Republicans have been pursuing a partisan investigation that they have not been part of. Republicans arguing that this is available for anyone to see. But now that this passes out of committee, it'll be up to the Department of Justice, who are going to have all this. And Fauci, as we know, has a preemptive pardon from former President Joe Biden. That's another implication factor of all this as well, Wolf.
All right, Annie Grayer reporting for us. Thank you very much, Annie.
All right, Wolf, with us now is CNN senior legal analyst Ellie Honig. So, Ellie, lay out the arguments here legally on both sides for and against contempt.
Well, Pam,
shout out to my guy,
Rand
K-Cell.
Paul's core argument is, as Annie just said, Dr. Fauci was given a pardon by Joe Biden in January of 2025. A person who has been pardoned, of course, cannot be prosecuted for anything within the scope of that pardon, and therefore you can't take the Fifth. There's no way to incriminate yourself if you can't be charged. The response, however, that we heard from Dr.
Thank you,
Fauci's
Nathan.
lawyer and from some Democrats today is okay, but Dr. Fauci still faces potential criminal exposure for things outside the scope of that pardon. For example, Dr. Fauci could at least theoretically face state-level prosecution. We know there are several state-level attorneys general who have open investigations into Dr. Fauci, and Dr. Fauci could theoretically be prosecuted for any.
So now he goes into a deeper, explanation of why Fauci could have possibly been pleading the fifth, guys. Basically doubling down that even though he has a pardon, he still could have been charged on the state level. That's basically what we get.
Anything after the date of that pardon, so after January 19th of 2025. And so that's the basis that Dr. Fauci is maintaining he's taking the fifth on.
As you know, Ellie, Dr. Fauci was given a full, unconditional, and preemptive pardon by President Biden. But Rand Paul, the chairman of this committee, says that Fauci gave up his right to take the Fifth Amendment because of his opening statement. Does that carry any legal weight, what Rand Paul is now saying?
So there is a legal doctrine, Wolf, called waiver. And that means once a person has testified about a specific subject, he cannot then take the fifth when he's questioned about that same subject. You can't say your piece and then when you're questioned say, oh, but I take the fifth now. And so Senator Paul's argument is when Dr. Fauci last week gave his opening statement, that essentially opened the door and he can't then take the fifth after he gave that opening statement. I think the response to that is if you look at Dr. Fauci's opening statement, it is brief, it's about 2 minutes long, and it does not actually get into the substance of any of the medical issues around COVID. Instead, what it really is Dr. Fauci giving an explanation of why he's taking the Fifth Amendment. And so if that's the prevailing view, then he did not waive his Fifth Amendment rights. But this is something that I'm sure will be litigated in the upcoming weeks.
And Ellie, you heard Republicans.
Let me ask y'all this. Do y'all feel like Congress did right today to basically hold Fauci in contempt? You know what I'm saying? Do y'all feel like that was the right thing to do, to hold him in contempt, for pleading the fifth and basically refusing to answer certain questions when it came to the pandemic and what caused the pandemic? Let me know. Were they right on the money? Y'all feel like that they should have most definitely done that, or they should have just let him slide? Let me know. Let me see down here. We got Nathan. Nathan says yes, they did right. Okay. We got 321 that says yes, they did right. Frank said they did right. They saying I see the yeses down there. Howell says yes. All right, there we got some more yeses. Okay, this man deserves anything they can do to him. That's basically another yes. Jesus Christ, that sounds horrible. Okay, all right. If Fauci is guilty for the sea lives, then Trump is sure as hell guilty as well. Trump so many times on TV about numbers, duration, cures, etc. Fauci wasn't president. He's being scapegoated. Okay, all right, bet. Yes, Americans are passing every day. Okay, I bet. Isn't it past Trump's jail time? Boy, they talking about Trump going to jail. Dr. Fauci is Dr. Wuhan. Oh, man, so y'all feeling like Fauci was behind it. Okay, I'm feeling y'all, man, is being made a scapegoat. So a lot of people are feeling like, what do you say? I'm subscribing already, Greg. Thank you. Okay, we got a no down there. Cooking says no, they shouldn't have did that. Okay, he funded the MZ. Oh my God. All right, so I'm seeing how y'all feeling down there. Yeah, I go in. Okay, all right, man. Hey, I think it's more yays than no's over here. So basically, they feel like Congress did the right thing by holding Fauci in contempt. Let's go.
Republican Senator Josh Hawley talk about the fact that he even pleaded the fifth with questions about the color of his tie or the color of the carpets. Was that legitimate to invoke the fifth and questions about things like that? Because Senator Hawley argued that it wasn't, because he's never going to be incriminating himself with answering a question like the color of his tie.
Right. You can't be prosecuted for the color of your tie or the color of the sky or whatever. What Josh Hawley was trying to do there, though, was sort of illustrate.
Jess, you really believe that? You really believe he started, you know what I'm saying, the AIDS epidemic? You really believe that? Do y'all agree with what she said? You know what I'm saying? Do y'all think that he actually did that? You know what I'm saying? Look, that's what she's saying right there. This is my first time hearing that, Jess, is from you. I didn't know that he was involved in that situation. I'm not gonna lie to you. Yeah, ooh-wee, man. You know what I'm saying? They feel like, hey, it was right. Trump wasn't the scientist. Trump was going off for words of the scientists. So she feels like Trump is not wrong in any kind of way. He was just listening to what Fauci told him. I did not know that he was even part of anything to do with the AID. Nathan don't believe it either. 321 said he possibly was. Hell say yes he did. Lord have mercy, he was surely very heavily involved. Wow. Okay, I see y'all down there, man, and y'all may be more in tune than I am. You know, I try to be as tuned as much as I can, but it seems like y'all been following Fauci for a while. Me personally, I had just heard about him, you know, during the pandemic time. So it's been a lot of y'all that's been knowing of Fauci and the things that he was responsible for. That's crazy, y'all. That's crazy. I'm gonna put allegedly on there, but wow.
The absurdity of taking the fifth all across the board, no matter what a person is asked. But I will tell you, any half-decent defense lawyer who's representing someone in Dr. Fauci's position will tell him, if we're going to take the fifth here, we're taking it across the board, no matter what you're asked. Because once you get into the game as a witness who may have a Fifth Amendment right of saying, well, okay, that question falls within my Fifth Amendment right, that one doesn't, I'll answer this, I won't answer that, you're going to end up in a gray area as a witness in Dr. Fauci's position. You're going to end up putting yourself in potential jeopardy. And so I will tell you, any half-competent defense lawyer will tell a client in Fauci's position, you're going to take the fifth and you're going to do it across the board, or you're going to answer questions.
What's
but
up,
there's
South
no middle
Memphis?
ground here.
So now we know Fauci could be referred to the DOJ with recommendations for criminal prosecution. What are prosecutors going to be considering? I mean, do you think that this is actually going to end up in charge?
Another person that feels like, you know, this is just propaganda. This is just smoke and mirrors to deflect. Nala says they just doing all this to distract us, Release the Epstein files and put Trump to justice. I've heard people most definitely say a lot of things that are going on is basically a distraction, like the situation going on in Iran. I can't just really tell you if it's a distraction or not, but I most definitely feel like I've been saying this whole entire time, even when it comes to Fauci, everybody's entitled to their opinion. So if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. Hey, Nene, shout out to you. I see you in the building, but let's let them continue, y'all. Shout out to everybody that's in here, man. Please take time to double tap that screen, man. If you have not, that's how you hit the like button, or you can click the 3 dots in the right-hand corner. You know what I'm saying? And hit that thumbs up. That's another way to like the content. I haven't asked you for any money. I only asked you to hit that like button, and most definitely subscribe to the channel if you are new. This is Everything News, and this is everything that I know regarding Dr. Fauci being held in contempt by the U.S. Senate, guys. Shout out to y'all. Let's get back to it.
Just filed?
It's a great question. It's the big question now. The Senate can hold anyone in contempt, or a Senate committee, for whatever they deem contempt to be. But when you're a prosecutor, it's a different and more difficult determination. When you're a prosecutor, you have to ask, can we prove that this person committed a crime of contempt beyond a reasonable doubt? And so if you're looking at this case, prosecutors, if they do charge Dr. Fauci, are going to have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that he did not have a Fifth Amendment right there. And so if it's a murky legal question, if Dr. Fauci probably had a legal right to take the fifth, if Dr. Fauci maybe had a legal right to take the fifth, that's not going to be proof beyond a reasonable doubt that he committed a crime when he took the fifth. So the bar is really high here. And Pam, I should note, the person who by law would be bringing a charge, if Dr. Fauci is to be charged with contempt, is the U.S. Attorney for Washington, D.C., which is Jeanine Pirro. Of course, she's been in the news and she has invoked the president's ire over the recent reflecting pool case. So it'll be a complicated calculus within the Justice Department.
That's a really good point. Ellie Honig, great to see you. Thanks so much.
Hold up, you know what I'm saying? Let me take this down. Let's take that right down. Okay, so we basically got a rundown, you know, as far as the legal basis of why Dr. Fauci, you know, could have been pleading the fifth, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Now, remember, I think it's the chair in the Senate, you know what I'm saying, basically who was rooting, you know, for them to go ahead and hold him, Dr. Fauci, in contempt, right? Well, he most definitely just went, he just did a little interview to where he said that he will be personally, meaning by hand, basically sending this, taking this to the Attorney General to get this process going as fast as possible. Wow.
Precedent here, and are you comfortable with that new precedent?
Actually, no decision has been made. The only decision that's been made so far is to bring it to the committee, and it's passed. The next decision we have decided is we will forward it. It's the committee's verdict that he should be held in contempt and it will be sent. But no one said that we won't bring it before the Senate. We'll see what happens over time. But this is outside of the ordinary bill making process. So it doesn't have to go to the House, doesn't have to be signed by the president, and really doesn't have to go before the Senate. There is some precedent for doing it that way, and it still may be done that way. But for now, we will hand carry this over to the Attorney General. We will hand carry this to the district court here in Columbia.
He said we will hand carry this to the Attorney General. They gonna make sure the Attorney General get it. They trying to get this ball rolling as fast as possible. This could be big trouble for Dr. Fauci.
The Attorney General, we will hand carry this to the district court here in Columbia, and we will, as a committee, we have voted the majority to refer this, so that will be accomplished today.
But Mr. Chairman, Dr. Fauci has said that you are out to get him. If you're circumventing the normal Senate procedure, aren't you proving his point?
1 million Americans died, and I think they deserve to know the truth. Anthony Fauci has advocated for dangerous gain-of-function research for 2 decades now. The question why is not a question that he can have liability for. He was given a pardon. Interestingly, the pardon starts in 2014. That's when the funding of the lab in Wuhan started. So I think he should answer questions. As far as pleading the fifth when you have a pardon, all you have to do is tell the truth, just not commit a new crime. But if we were to grant him immunity from telling the truth, of what value, would his testimony be? So I think the American people do deserve to know this. This is the same Anthony Fauci who said in a Washington Post op-ed in 2011, said that even if a pandemic should start from a lab, if someone's bitten in a lab or the virus escapes the lab, that the knowledge would be worth the risks.
I'm sorry if the audio sounds a little muffled, but that's on their end, not on mine. I'm just receiving the information, man. I'm just receiving the information. But this is crazy. He said, hey, man, I'm hand delivering this to everybody it needs to go to, because Fauci should be in a world of trouble because a lot of Americans passed away due to his actions when it came to the pandemic. What caused the pandemic situation?
Many Americans believe that. This deserves to be thoroughly, exhaustively debated so we don't do this again. Most of the scientists who came out in opposition to Anthony Fauci in 2011 when he funded gain-of-function research in the Netherlands, most of these scientists, I have no idea their partisanship. They want to make it about being partisan or me being partisan or disliking Anthony Fauci. I had no opinion of Anthony Fauci when he came before the American people. I didn't know who he was. For a year, I didn't realize what was going on until I began reading actually press reports. Nicholas Wade and others wrote incredible stories talking about the evidence that made us believe that this came from a lab. He's been evading this for a long time. The level of dishonesty is really unparalleled. In January 2020, he wrote, "We know now that the earliest cases were not from the wet market." It'll take you 30 seconds to look at all the clips. Dozens and dozens of times.
Wow, he said that it didn't come. He knows for a fact. He said that Fauci said that. That's crazy. Everett says, how many of you took the vaccine that are watching this? How many of you that took the vaccine laughed and mocked and tried to demonize those that warned you not to take it? Let's go, Everett. Yeah, it's looking bad, bro. I ain't gonna lie, it's looking bad, especially when they said that he was contradicting himself. Basically, Fauci was taking notes of his own and saying one thing to himself in his notes, but going to the American public and saying something way different, guys. That's a problem with me. I'm not gonna lie. Hey, man, I feel like people that's in office, people that hold certain position of power, that are governing over everybody's life, basically, you know what I'm saying, should most definitely be telling the truth, man. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. I feel like they supposed to be telling the truth. And for him to write down certain things in his journal or whatever, in his notes, and have it say one thing and then come out here and deceive the American public, it's something else. That's just me. Nah, bro, you just made you look up to someone who is less intelligent than the special whatever. We don't talk about them people over here, man. Stop it. I'm just saying, bro, that he is in a position of power for a reason. You know what I'm saying? People take his word as law, especially when it comes to certain things. So for him, a lot of people, it is very bad, in my opinion. I'm just saying.
Came on your networks and he said, it's just the wet market. It's those crazy animals. If we shut down the wet market, we'll do this. But he wasn't an objective observer, and he wasn't adequately questioned really by the media on, did he have a conflict of interest? Did he have a self-interest in it not being from the lab? Of course he did, because he funded the lab. One or two more.
He said an unhinged obsession with him. 600 tweets his lawyer cited. What's your response to that?
1 million Americans died, and they deserve to know the truth. Look, one of the most, I guess, thing that alarms people about his dishonesty is that so many people died without their family there. I mean, I have a friend who's a physician. His wife got it, he got it, they all got sick. The wife kept getting sicker. Kids got better, he got better. And she eventually died in the hospital alone. They weren't allowed to see her. But common sense would say if you've recovered from it, you have immunity. But he would never quite say that. He'd say, well, maybe they do, maybe they don't. But his policies led to this, the school closures, the 6 feet of separation, all these things he said in public. Well, I'm not the governor. I didn't.
He hit some good points. He hit some good points right here. I'm just saying, schools closing down, people passing away, family members not able to see them, basically they shut the whole world down, in so many words. And yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? He's making some good points. You got to give him that. All right, so Nene says she don't agree. Nene says Brad wrong. Trump is the authoritarian that is loved and feared by Republicans. He is the one who wants more than 2 terms. Okay. All right. Hey, man, I respect everybody's opinion, man. You know what I'm saying? I most definitely respect everybody's opinion. All right. What you say? Who took full credit for the vaccine? We'll wait. We know exactly who took full credit. C was nothing. The common cold was more dangerous. Yeah, but they had us feeling like, man, it was the end of the world. You know what I'm saying? One of those plagues, had came to come take over. Extra stuff. I don't know what that was. It most definitely kicked me out, though. I thought I was talking and I wasn't. All right, man, let's finish up this little piece so I can turn my computer off and turn it back on. I don't like that. Shout out to y'all. Can y'all hear me out there? Let me know if y'all can hear me out there. Can y'all hear me out there? I don't know why it's acting like this, but it's acting like this. It most definitely kicked me out right then, guys. I guess my computer say it don't want to hear. It don't want to hear none of this. Can y'all hear me? Okay. All right, bet. Let me let this play out, man. You know what I'm saying? Let me let it play out real quick. Let's continue. Hold on, hold on, let me see something. It ain't even came up yet. Ooh, there's something wrong with my computer. I don't like it. Hold on, stop it. Can y'all hear me now? Like, man, my computer is doing something it hardly ever does, man. I don't like this. It didn't even pull up the share screen like I wanted it to. What is going on? Hold on, y'all. See if it pulls it up. All right, let's let it play out.
School closures, 6 feet of separation, all these things he said in public. Well, I'm not the governor. I didn't do it. Well, when the truth comes out, he was talking to all these governors. He was bragging to Dear Diary about how he shut the schools down in New York, how he shut the restaurants and gyms down in California. And there needs to be some culpability attached to that. And a question, do we want public health doctors to give us advice, or do they want them to tell us what to do? This is a fundamental question about freedom and medical freedom in our country. Should public officials give you advice, or should they command what you do? He was in favor of the commandment, the dictate. And I think a lot of people would rather have some choice and believe that America's
What are the plans for the content of a cell phone?
Have you been in touch with the DOJ, and do you have any expectation that they will actually take up this referral?
I don't know the answer. That's a great question for them. We will hand deliver it today to the Attorney General, and we will hand deliver it today to the District of Columbia, to the U.S. Attorney there. And from there, we'll find out. But this way, we don't sit a month waiting to determine whether or not we bring it to the Senate floor. What we will do is it'll immediately be referred over. I think it's important for them to look at, and then that'll be their choice whether to look at. Thank you.
All right. So that was
by
that.
asking unanimous consent to insert into the record documents show.
Can y'all hear me? You know what I'm saying? I done took it off and it's still up there. Y'all probably can't even hear me at all. It's crazy. What is going on? Can y'all hear me again now? Yeah, man, every time I share my screen, my computer start tripping. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. It usually don't do that, but it's been doing it lately, y'all. So, most definitely we found out that Dr. Fauci, it has been held in contempt, guys. You know what I'm saying? And that the head of the Senate, basically of the chair, says that he is going to hand deliver this contempt charge to the Attorney General. You know, basically to get Fauci locked up in some form or fashion. You know, basically make him have to speak on this whole entire situation, man. You know what I'm saying? But I caught wind of this morning. Fauci most definitely went in front of the Senate like 9 days ago and refused to answer certain questions, pled the fifth. You know, which brings us to where we were today with him being found in contempt, guys. You know, whether you like the decision, don't like the decision was most definitely made, and they most definitely standing on it, man. We'll most definitely keep an eye on this entire situation, you know, as it continues to play out. How many of y'all out there think that this is some form of deflection, or they doing this, you know, just for the public, and they're not really going to do what they say they was going to do as far as Fauci going to jail? Do y'all see Fauci going to jail? You know what I'm saying? I seen some of y'all saying he deserved jail time, but how many of y'all actually believe that this man will be going to jail behind this entire situation, man? I most definitely feel like, you know, when you're in a position of power, you should be most definitely keeping it real, you know, and telling the people the truth. There's no reason to be lying to people about anything. If you wrote it in your notes, you know what I'm saying, say it to the people, man. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just got to stand off in it. And I guess they want Dr. Fauci, you know, to stand off in it. They want him to do it, AB. I'm just saying, y'all think they gonna take him to jail? Do y'all really believe that he's going anywhere? How many people are wearing a mask right now? Nobody, Sean. You know what I'm saying? They believe that it's over with. Well, according to Congress, you know, they saying that Fauci lied to the American people, and due to his lies, a lot of people passed away. You know, basically that should be here. People taking shots that didn't need them, you know what I'm saying, and shots that they didn't have to. A lot of people lost jobs behind not taking those shots. So, man, it is what it is. But either way, you know what I'm saying, either way, I'm most definitely just reporting to y'all that this situation most definitely took place. We'll most definitely be keeping an eye on it, you know, to see where things lead. And don't forget, man, you on Everything News. I cover everything news, and if any updates come, I will most definitely update y'all. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel so you don't miss nothing when Everything News goes live. I enjoyed y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed me. You know what I'm saying? And I will catch y'all on the next one. If you are a person that just subscribed, make sure you have your notification bell on so you don't miss anything. And with that, I'm gone.